Hey everyone, this is Ron Fitch, and this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm going to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth when it comes to sports. And I'm going to break down why two of the biggest name sports teams spit the bit tonight. And I'm going to tell you why they lost. And I'm going to break down the NBA Finals where everybody thought it was going to be a coronation. Miami Heat is going to lose to the LA Lakers, and the Lakers are going to win in 5. They got the Kobe jerseys. They're going to come out and take care of business. They came out and didn't play as well. They were sloppy, and the Heat took advantage because the Heat's going to battle you all. They don't care about coronations or Kobe jerseys. They care about competing and trying to steal a title, and they played well, and they ended up 60 to 56 at the end of the first half. But LA makes a comeback after the Heat go up 8. Then they end up ending the quarter at 6. Then LA's defense tighten up, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, LA, they get this lead. They'll take care of business like they've done before. But they turned the ball over a lot. They survived that. They survived Dwight Howard shenanigans with his flagrant fouls and acting stupid. And in the KCP hits a 3-point shot, 97-96. This is where the game got really good. And once the Lakers took the lead, the Heat would come back. The Lakers would come back. The Heat would come back. Then the last 3 minutes of the game, that Duncan Robinson will hit a 3. Actually, Caruso and Pope collided, and it was an unfortunate play for LA. And Duncan Robinson catches the ball. He finally gets his first clean look, nails it. They're up 2. LeBron comes down with a terrific drive because the jump shot wasn't on. So he just put his head to the basket because he doesn't really have a mid-range game, and I'm going to tell you why that hurt him. So he drove hard, powered his way, because, the Heat, they don't have a power forward, a big, strong power forward or a center. So he drove all the way to the basket, scored, and won. LA's up 1. Butler comes down, makes a shot. LeBron comes down, makes another drive to the basket, misses, gets his own rebound, shot. Butler comes out, gets fouled, and he's making both free throws. Butler does not miss free throws at the end of games. Jimmy Butler is one of the best free throw shooter in the entire NBA. Okay. LeBron drives. Now the Heat playing really smart because they double LeBron. They're going to dare KCP and Butler and Caruso to make shots. They don't. KCP gets the ball, takes a shot, misses. Anthony Davis gets the rebound, scores with 16 seconds left. All right. All LA has to do is get a stop. They're going to win this game. They're going to take care of business. They're going to stop. They're the champs. Anthony Davis, now I do want to tell you this. He got hurt in the third quarter, and he's hobbling the entire game. So if you're LA, okay, got to win this game because if he comes back for game 6, he's not going to be 100%, and Miami could smell blood. Jimmy Butler gets a hard pick from Crowder, so he's able to drive past LeBron. Anthony Davis shows, but he got past LeBron so fast off the pick, high screen, that Davis got there a tick late. Butler gets fouled, makes both free throws. LA has about 8 seconds left. LeBron drives, and this is for the second time. The first time he drove and kicked it out to KCP, and he missed, and Davis got the rebound. And that was an opportunity for LeBron to drive and take a little bit of a short bunny. Because when you saw that game, Jimmy Butler took a little 4-foot flip shot and made it. And he's good with that little shot in the lane. LeBron doesn't have that. He has to drive all the way. The Heat completely collapse. They're giving up. They don't care if Green or Caruso or KCP is the hero. They just want to make sure LeBron doesn't drive for an easy layup. So instead of taking the 2, he kicks it to Green. Green's not making that shot. Green short-armed the 3, missed the shot. Miami got the rebound and ended up winning the game. And this is the problem with LeBron and he had 40 points. He was great. The one problem with LeBron, he doesn't have a consistent go-to move where if he backs a guy, he has to go all the way to the basket, barrel to the basket to get the layup, or he has to kick it out to a three-point sniper, and you got to hope they nail that shot. He doesn't have a consistent catch, turnaround, like a lot of the greats, like the Bird, would turn around, do the little turnaround jumper in the lane, do a left-handed hook in the lane when they clogged the lane up. And LeBron never had – when the Denver game, he hit a lot of shots he normally doesn't. He did hit a couple of turnaround jumpers, but that's not really his game. His game is barrel to the basket, kick it out because he can see the floor really good, or shoot that long three-point shot from the elbow. But he didn't make those shots. And if the three-point shot is not going from the elbow, then that's a problem. And Anthony Davis is hobbled, so he can't go inside like he normally can. And that's how LA lost. Now the Heat, they have confidence. With you hope by Sunday AD's good enough to go and play as good as he can. But the others, Kuzma and Rondo, they have to score a little more. Kuzma has to play, but he was just out of it today. And you can't be out of it when you're trying to win a championship. He's got to give you 10 to 15 points for Game 6 for them to win. They're going to have a contribution from someone else to help out a little. And the Heat, they're confident. They're playing with house money. Okay, Tyler Hero didn't have his best game. What if he comes back and has a good game? What if Bam scores a little more? What if one of the stars on LA gets a foul? You're playing Russian roulette. Because remember 2016 when Draymond Green got suspended and it woke up the Cavaliers. That was the biggest thing that happened in that series. Forget about Game 7, how great LeBron and Kyrie played. The suspension of Draymond Green turned the series around. Because this is Tell the Truth Radio. I have to tell the truth. And the truth is that was the biggest, because it woke the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are a dead man running. Dead man walking. Draymond gets suspended, the heart and soul, for just karate kicking everybody. He was just an idiot. But the last foul, he shouldn't have got, the flagrant one. But the other ones, he deserved because he's kicking, and he was just being stupid that playoffs. They lose their heart and soul, and LeBron goes crazy, and the Cavaliers go on to win the last three because the Golden State lost all the momentum that they had. And they were a 73-win team, which I did not think they were as good as the Bulls, but they did win 73 in this era. The Bulls won in a better era. That's the truth. But LA's in trouble. We're going to see what they're made of. You really want to win the championship? I mean, if you lose Sunday and you win Wednesday or Tuesday, you still win the championship in Game 7, but it does. The legacies, the critics are going to be all over this. You couldn't finish the Miami Heat with no size and one real good star and some good young players. You couldn't finish the Heat in 5 games. Now it's Game 6. That's going to take away from some of it, regardless of what happens. All right, the other team. We get to baseball and the New York Yankees and the Tampa Rays. Game 5, going for it all. Cole pitching against Glasgow. And I thought Glasgow got took out too early, but it didn't matter because Tampa's pitchers and their relievers were fantastic. I didn't like the move, but it did work out. You know, you go Glasgow, Nick Anderson, Fairbanks, and Castillo. And they all contributed. They all pitched around 2 1/3. 2 2/3, 2 1/3, 2 innings, and 14 strikeouts. And I'll get to that with the Yankees in a minute. Aaron Judge giveth and tooketh away. He hits a home run in the 4th inning. Right field, 1-0 Yanks, and Cole was great. Cole gave you everything he had. I didn't like that Aaron Boone took him out too soon. He should have walked Chow because Chow is homers off him, and then got out of the 6th. Then you go to Green. Then you go to Britton. Then you go to Chapman in the 9th with a 1-run lead. He overplays his hand, putting Britton in too early. in the seventh, and they give up a home run in the sixth, and in the fifth inning. Austin Meadows hits a home run where Aaron Judge had an opportunity to catch it. He rams his head against the top wall where he couldn't get an extension to catch the ball. And that's normally a ball that Aaron Judge jumps over the fence and catches. But he wasn't able to get that. So he gave it away on that one, but he did give them the 1-run lead. So it's 1-1 going into the eighth inning. And Mike Brousseau was up, and Chapman struck him out, really. It was strike 3. The ball went right down the plate. The umpire did not call it. And it gave him new life. 2 pitches later, Mike Brousseau hits a homer to left center, gives the Rays a 2-1 lead. And once he hit that homer, they said the game's over, because the way the Yankees were striking out and not situationally hitting, I knew the game was over. And they went out meekly in the ninth, and the Yankees are home again. And I'm going to tell you why the Yankees always lose in these situations. They're constantly swinging for the fences. I'll give you a situation. First and second, Luke Voigt comes up. It's 2 outs. You need a single. If you get a single, the Yanks retake the lead, and they probably go on to win. Every swing, he's swinging out of I'm surprised his shoes didn't come off. He's just swinging at these 99-mile-an-hour fastballs, swinging as hard as he can, hoping he'll get lucky and put one out. And he struck out. Other than LeMahieu, most of the Yankees are swinging for the fences. And that's a problem. Aaron Hicks will make contact. LeMahieu will make contact. He didn't have a great game, but he usually will ground out. You rarely will see him strike out. But the rest of the Yankees are just sabermetrics garbage. They just swing for defenses. And I got to give the criticism to Aaron Boone. I don't like this style. And I'm going to tell you something else. They don't have the heart. Derek Jeter, Soho, Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, Posada, they get the singles. They get the doubles they're driving home. They're going to grind out those at bats and either get a walk or Brocious. They'll grind out and get the hits they need. The 90s Yankees. This group doesn't have the heart. And I've seen a big enough sample size that if you're a Yankee fan, this group might not win a championship. You might have to hope they win about 10 division titles and maybe get a title. Be like the Braves. The Braves won 14 division titles and won 1 championship. I think you have to hope that for the Yankees. Maybe you go to the playoffs about 14 times. Maybe you'll get one. Maybe you'll run into one. Other than that, I don't see this group winning. I don't see them winning next year or the year after that. They're not built unless they are able to get one more pitcher and get a bunch of contact hitters. They have to let Sanchez go because he swings for the fences and he's become a strikeout artist. He can't catch or field. He can't field or hit. So at this point, he's useless. And then the rest of the guys just swing for the fences. That works at Yankee Stadium during this regular season. It's fun to watch. But when the playoffs come, it doesn't work because you're going to run to pitchers like what the Rays have who throw 100 miles an hour gas. And you need that guy that just plays small ball, goes to right field if you're a right-handed hitter. And the Yankees don't have that. I mean, guys first and second, no out, second and third, no out, second and third, 1 out. They can't get the runner over because if you're not LeMahieu, you're probably going to strike out or hit into a double play or pop up because their approach is ridiculous. They just had some ridiculous at-bats. And congratulations to Tampa because they have good at-bats. They have a pretty good hitting team. I'm not saying they're the best. I do like Randy Arozarena. Did I pronounce that? Arozarena. Randy Arozarena. I love him. He's a good, tough-nosed player. They got Austin Meadows, Margot, Brissot, who hit the home run. So they got a nice team. The only thing I'm worried about with Tampa is I don't know how this is such an emotional win. They beat the Yankees. Neither team like each other. They're going to celebrate. This is so special. I don't know what they got against the Astros. The Astros have their number. You know I don't like the Astros. I call them a bunch of cheating bums, and I'm not going to change off that. But I will pick the Astros to go to the World Series to play the LA Dodgers, who will beat the Braves in 7. The Braves are very good. The Braves, it would not surprise me if the Braves beat the Dodgers at all. The Braves are that good. Both closers are a little shaky. It's going to be interesting because it's going to be a team that's going to pull out a game in the 9th inning. It's going to be one of those real close series. I love the Dodgers' approach. It's the opposite of the Yankees. Seager, Turner, even Jock Peterson, who usually swings for the fences, Bellinger, they're playing small ball. They want to win this World Series so bad, they're willing to change their ways to move the runners over, get sacrificed. I think Mookie Betts' influence is the reason why the Dodgers are playing so well. I mean, he had a big influence on that team. And this is what I love. This guy is batting .368, 435 on-base percentage, 6 runs, 7 hits. He doesn't have to hit home runs, but he keeps the conga line going when it comes to runs. And they beat the tar out of the San Diego Padres. That will happen with the Braves. The Braves shut the lifeless Marlins out. The Marlins, that's what I'm worried about Tampa. The Marlins are so happy to beat the Cubs. They really didn't have anything left to play the Braves. And I'm wondering if that's going to be Tampa. I think that is going to be Tampa. I like the Astros in 6 to play the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are going to enact revenge on the Astros. And they're going to get a chance to take care of business on the field with no transmitters, no hidden cameras, just fair and square. The Dodgers will take care of business. If they get past the Braves, they'll see the Astros. And they'll take care of the Astros, and that'll be poetic justice. Hey, everyone. This is the Tell the Truth radio segment, the SEC college football segment. I have Chris Stanley with me. Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I want to see you, man.
Let me get to a place where I can actually sit down real quick. I'm over here at my parents' house. I want to get some college football memorabilia in the background if I can.
Okay. You tell your mom and dad I said hi, and you do great work with me, man. I love – this is my favorite segment every year. College football. There he goes. That? Mr. South Carolina Gamecock. Oh, that's what's going on.
How we doing, Mr. Fitch?
Yes, listen, we're going to talk about Tennessee football. We've never talked about Tennessee football. Tennessee versus Georgia. What do you think?
So, what a weird year this is where we have Tennessee ranked number 14 after beating South Carolina and Missouri. Not really enough to go off of there, in my opinion, to really make a fair opinion on Tennessee. Georgia, on the other hand, at least has the Auburn win to hang their hat on. And they looked really good against Auburn. They shut down the offense completely. And, you know, I don't think the offense did a whole lot to impress, but they did enough. And I like Stetson Bennett.
I do too.
I think he's the guy going forward for them. And they're going to keep them comfortable by hanging their hats on those running backs, Cook and White. And if you're Tennessee, I think that's where you have to be the most worried, because in the South Carolina and Missouri games, South Carolina and Missouri got, I think, decent pushes with their running backs. Kevin White for South Carolina ran decently well. Larry Roundtree ran decently well for Missouri. These are 2 different cats that Georgia has.
Georgia could run Georgia could run the entire game if Tennessee's not careful. They'll run the ball down their throat all game long with those, and that offensive line is huge.
Yeah, and that's where they're going to hang their hat, is on that running game. And even if Tennessee is able to stuff it up, Stetson Bennett showed you last week against Auburn. He's more than capable of making throws on third down to keep their offense on the field. I don't see a path today for Tennessee to beat Georgia unless there's something funky going on with special teams or turnovers.
Yep.
Or, things of that nature. I think straight up Georgia wins the game, and I think they're pretty good to cover that spread too, the 12.5-point spread.
I'm going to tell you something else, Chris. I noticed there were, you can't have full capacity of fans, but the fans that were at the Auburn game, Georgia game, they intimidated Auburn a little bit. So the fans made a little bit of a difference. I heard the fans in the stands in that Georgia game. Yeah,
you're going to hear them again today too. And these teams that are letting fans in the stadiums, that is an advantage. It absolutely is. So, again, Tennessee, Garantano's looked better than what he has in previous years. I still don't think he's like the dynamic type of guy who can will you to a win. And if Tennessee is going to win this game, it's going to come on their defense. They're going to have to create some turnovers. They're going to have to make Stetson Bennett uncomfortable. But through 2 games, I don't see any indication that Tennessee will be able to do that or that Georgia will let that happen.
Yeah, and one thing about Tennessee, they have to overcome the fact they've lost 5 out of 6 to Georgia. They're not as big. Georgia's big on the defensive line. What Georgia does, they want to maul you in the trenches. That's always what they're going to do. That's how they're coached. They want to beat you up offensively. They're big defensively. They have speed. They want to beat you that way. And that's going to be the key for Georgia. So you got Georgia beating up Tennessee.
Yes, for sure.
All right, let's talk about another good East team. The East is good this year. Florida versus A&M. You give A&M a chance in A&M with Kyle Trask playing really well. And I always liked him. The minute I saw him walk on the football field, I fell in love with this guy. With Pitts at tight end, an NFL tight end. I love how they're really creating a Georgia-like type team. So Florida's coming on strong. What do you think about Florida A&M?
I don't want to sound like I'm being wrapped up in recency bias, but I cannot remember the last time I've been as awed as I have been watching Kyle Pitts play football.
Oh, my gosh.
He is doing things I have never seen a tight end do in the SEC in a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, the SEC's had talented tight ends, but I can remember the last time. I mean, really, it goes back to when Florida had guys like Aaron Hernandez, the way that they use him. They use him in the slot. They use him in motion. They line him up like solo, split out, one-on-one, and throw him fades. A&M doesn't have anybody that can stop that. They just don't. And it's crazy to think that one tight end can run an offense like that, but he does. It's Gronk-ish.
Gronkish. I thought about that.
Quite frankly, I think he's more athletic than Gronk is because he can move faster in the open field. And A&M, I mean, you saw what happened with them last week against Alabama. I mean, Alabama they've got guys like Jalen Waddle, who's a different kind of weapon, but they don't have anybody on defense that can stop Pitts. And, even if you do manage to slow him down, Florida has other guys around him that can play. A&M may be able to put up some points because we've seen – Florida gave up, 24 to South Carolina. They gave up, almost 30 to Ole Miss. So A&M will probably be able to score on their defense. I could see, Kellen Mond and the rest of those guys putting up 20, 30 maybe. But Florida's capable of hanging 50 on anybody this year. And that's really what separates them from some of these, other Florida teams post-Meyer. Is the offense is legitimately dangerous.
Absolutely. Florida, Georgia, the greatest cocktail in all the world. What do you think is going to happen? Can Florida finally come up there and we're back to the Tebow days? Mullins was there, but before it's a coordinator, now he's a coach. So can they get over the hump versus the big bad Georgia Bulldogs?
This is the year to do it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This is the year to do it. Because as good as Georgia's defense has looked, I don't see any indication from their offense that if you were to get in a shootout type game in Florida, they wouldn't be able to keep up just because I don't think they can throw the ball at the capacity that Florida can. Now, defensively, if Georgia's defensive line can bother Trask, get in the backfield, make him hurry on his throws, disrupt his timing, that would be the way to slow Florida down. But between, the very small sample sizes that we have here for those two teams, I just like Florida more right now. They're more dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Next year, hopefully we could be – I want to go to some of these games, South Carolina Stadium, Baton Rouge, Alabama, Auburn. I want to feel – I'm a Jersey guy. I want to feel the SEC vibe. The fans are – the small sample size of fans put so much noise on the field, and they are effective because that's how much passion these SEC fans have. And it affects the game. And I love that about that. I'm glad they have 25%. That's all you need with these college fans. The way as rabid as they are.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it, Ron.
Nothing like it.
I miss it. I'm ready.
Next
I'm already
year.
Looking forward to next year for we can
Listen,
finally have
I'm
full
working on a
again.
budget for us to do some travel so people can see your face more. Now they get to see my fans get to see that. Here we go again. Is it you back? Or we've done this. We've done this. It's almost like Charlie Brown and Lucy, where Charlie Brown misses the football, and we say, "Oh, Miami's back this time!" Yeah. They're playing Clemson, and Clemson loves these kind of games. They get bored sometimes, and then when you say, "Oh, this ACC team is a threat," and then Clemson has the history of just swatting that team away when they feel threatened. You think that's going to happen today?
So I'll say this about the U. The U has never had a quarterback like De'Aaron King.
Yes.
Dare I say ever? I mean, even if you look back to those 2001, 2002 teams.
I didn't like that quarterback. I didn't like him.
Well, I mean, he wasn't a dynamic athlete.
No, it was
like
a team. They were amazing.
Yeah. The team they were – but that's the thing. Miami has always been a team where the quarterback has never been the star. It's always been the skill guys. For the first time, I think, in the history of the program, if I don't speak out of turn, the quarterback is now the best athlete on the field. And that's what makes this Miami team different than every other Miami team that we've ever seen. And that's what, normally – I would say, this is probably a 20-point Clemson win. We get ourselves all hyped up, and then Clemson reminds us, oh, no, we're still here. Like, move along, nothing to see here. But De'Aaron King makes everything different. And it's not just De'Aaron King. This offensive line for Miami is very good. They've been able to run the football very well. Clemson's defensive line right now is a little unproven. Very talented 4- and 5-star guys too deep, but unproven. And that's where this game is going to be won and lost. And offensively, I was just talking to my brother who's a Clemson fan. He made a good point that Clemson does not have a deep threat like they have had in the past. Lawrence has not established any sort of real chemistry with those receivers yet. So you're going to be probably looking at a heavy dose of Travis Etienne today, kind of like it looked against Virginia. And if they can force Clemson to be one-dimensional, I think Miami's got a chance here, like a legitimate chance. I'm still going to pick Clemson. But I think Miami is going to have a legitimate chance to do something really special today.
Man, you are great at this. You're the best when it comes time to break the SEC. Finally, if you're an NFL team, do you lose just about every game just to get Trevor Lawrence? I'm out here in Jersey as Jet fan. I told Jet fan, you need to go 1-15 and get him because he could be Joe Namath. You could sell him on New York, and he's that guy with the long hair, super talented. Maybe you go get Eric Bieniemy as coach, and you have that quarterback-coach relationship, and he could take you places you've never seen in decades.
Yeah, he makes throws consistently that just kind of make me shake my head. Like, college quarterbacks aren't supposed to be able to make high velocity throws, across their body, because he's hitting comeback routes on the opposite side of the field in, right along 2 seconds. with perfect timing. And that's just not a throw that college quarterbacks should be able to make. And he's got the stature for it. I mean, what is he, 6'4", 6'5",
And
a
he can
solid
run.
225.
And he's a good runner.
He is. It's not something he looks to do, but he can do it. Kind of like Burrow last year, where Burrow was not a run-first guy, but if he wanted to run, he could. And by all accounts, everybody loves him. I've never heard anybody say a single bad word about Trevor Lawrence as a person, a leader, a teammate. Everybody's all behind him. I fear for him to get stuck with that stunk franchise up there, the Jets, because they just seem to ruin everything that they touch. So God bless him if he winds up going to New York. But, I mean, if you're the Jets and you wind up with Trevor Lawrence, that's going to be the best quarterback that they've had.
In New York?
I don't know.
In the New York market? Are you kidding me? With his long hair and his talent?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, thanks a lot. You are the guy. Next week, Georgia, Alabama. You'll be on next Saturday.
Baby.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're back here at Tell the Truth Sports Radio. This is the NFL report. Before I leave the scene, I want to break down a couple of NFL games. You have really the bigger games, Tennessee and Buffalo on Monday. There's one that intrigues me is the Browns and the Colts, two improving teams. Both teams are 3-1. The Colts only give up 3.6 yards per carry. They're one of the best run-stopping teams in the league. They only give up 6 yards per attempt on passing. So they're not giving up nothing. But they're going to be challengers this week with Cleveland and their running attack. Chubb is going to be out for a while with his knee injury. But you have Hunt. You have Dearness Johnson, who was on a fishing boat. They grabbed him out, and he had 95 yards against the Cowboys. So they're going to pound that rock. They got a great offensive line. Their scheme is good. Their scheme is good because they have the running attack, and Hunt is really good in between the tackles. So they're punching you in the face physically, almost like Tennessee. They're going to run on first down. They're going to run on second down. If it's third two, they might run on third down. So you pull your safeties up. Now we're going to have 9 in the box. Now you're not going to run. What they do, they show you to run, so your eyes tell you it's to run, but Baker Mayfield rolls out. I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan at all. I don't like the guy one bit. But he is effective at the rollouts and when they're running the ball. And he's efficient. He's not going to give you a whole bunch of great numbers. If they fall behind 2 or 3 scores, then they're kind of in trouble, but they don't because they get after you on defense with Myles Garrett, and they pound the rock to the point where you got to honor the run, but then you got Landry and Beckham. So you have to watch that. The Colts are going to do a good job of the run. The difference is with the play action – I think Beckham and Landry are better offensive weapons than the Colts have. I think the Browns are a little better offensively. And I'm going to give the Browns a slight edge in a low-scoring game, a good old-fashioned, old-school physical game. Frank Wright got the Colts playing physical, seriously physical. And Phillip Rivers is efficient, but he's a little older. But, what if he turns back the clock and plays well? He's going to have to. I got Dallas. Okay, I'm going to do this again. I got Dallas winning. I've been picking Dallas every Sunday, and they've been losing. I got Dallas defeating the Giants in a get-right game, and I think the defense will play a little better, and that might give them confidence. They're going to need that. I think the Giants will fight. They'll play hard, but I like the Cowboys by 10. Dak will make enough plays. Ezekiel will eat. Their offense will be good. Their defense, I think, will be a little better because they'll probably get after Daniel Jones. But the Giants, like I said, will be competitive. The Cowboys can be mistake-prone, so they're going to give up a couple of mistakes, but also the Giants, so it's going to be back and forth with that. I like the Cowboys to win that game. And here I go again. This is your last chance, Dallas. Now, my Steelers playing the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm terrified of this game. I'm going to tell you why I'm terrified of this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers have Cleveland at home, a really tough game because Cleveland's a lot better. Tennessee, and Baltimore on the road. So it's a game they have to win, but this is a very good 1-3-1 Eagle team. They beat up on the Niners. It was worse than the score indicated. And I knew they were going to beat the Niners. Wentz is a replica of Big Ben. They're pretty much the same as far as statue. The one edge that the Steelers have, they run it a little better, and they have a couple of more weapons with Ebron and Johnson, who's back healthy, and the rest of the crew that they have, Eric Ebron, who's been a big help at tight end, and McDonald, so and Juju Schuster. So they're going to have to, and the key to this game is turnovers. Both teams are a great pass rush. It comes down to mistakes. If the Steelers are to win, they're going to have to play mistake-free football. They can't turn the ball over when they have the lead. They can't have a 10-point lead or a 7-point lead and have the ball drive down the field and throw in a stupid pick like they've done. You can't fumble the ball. You have to execute, because this is a very good pass rush of the Eagles. They have 17 sacks, and the Steelers have 15. These front sevens are very good, both sides. And the Eagles are confident now. So they're coming in here with this Pennsylvania rivalry. They're going to play hard. So this is the kind of game you want to just execute, because you're going to have to squeak it out. It might come down to a last-second field goal. And if Pittsburgh wins, they kick, do what they've been doing, play, get after a quarterback, maybe get Wentz to turn it over on a couple of strip sacks, get to short field, execute in the red zone, and score. And if you get a lead, show some killer instinct. For the Eagles to win, they're going to need help from the Pittsburgh secondary. Pittsburgh secondary at times has committed a lot of third down pass interference penalties. If you see that, the Eagles are going to win. If the Eagles run it a little and Wentz plays, and which he does, when he's confident, the Eagles have a chance to win the game. So this is a toss-up. Forget the record. The Eagles were really good. The Eagles will win the division if they win this game. The Eagles and Cowboys are going to fight that out for their division. The Steelers have a little more talent on offense, but they have to play their potential. If they don't, they're going to get beat. Either play your potential or lose, and that would be very costly. And that would change the way the whole season looks, because you got Cleveland, Baltimore, and Tennessee. And what I would like for them to do is come out 2-2. Whether that's 2 home wins and 2 losses, or however it is. You can't go 1-3 or 0-4. Or the season, there's no more season there. That's it. And the Steelers know that. So they have to be desperate and have to scratch out and grind out. And even if you have to steal a win, you have to do that this week with all those tough games coming up. All right, when I do my show Monday night, either Monday night or Tuesday morning, I'll recap the Dodgers, Braves, Astros, and Rays, and the big Tennessee-Buffalo game. And I'm hoping and praying that no one else gets the coronavirus the rest of the year. That's my hope and prayer, that we don't see that and that players are allowed to finish the season off, because there's a couple of cases are just not good. So I'm hoping and praying you don't get any more, and the players are responsible.